I can't believe we're already almost here. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles is literally right around the corner. As of the recording of this video, the pre-release is less than a month away, with the release being slightly less than a month away. And I have been thinking about the prices of these products and what it means for the long-term future of both Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and other Magic the Gathering sets, including in-universe Magic the Gathering sets. So I want to do a price comparison, tell you what I think about the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle prices, how they compare to something like Lorwyn Eclipse, the most recent in-universe and wildly successful Magic the Gathering product, and put our thinking caps on and say, what does that mean for regular fans and collectors and players like you and I? All right, there's a lot to talk about today, so let's dive in. As always, massive shout out to the channel members who keep the lights on. I'm shooting episode 2 in the series of an individual single person selling cards on TCG Player, seeing what that looks like from both an operations and profitability standpoint. So big shout out to each and every one of you for helping me keep the lights on and enjoy that series. If you want to join, click down below, or you can visit me at patreon.com/hometowntcg, where I am also dual uploading the series. Also, to all of the subscribers and people who like the videos, a small channel like mine works because you guys do what you do. So massive thank you, and hit the like button, and if you haven't already, subscribe to the channel. Now, without further ado, it is time to talk Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and the prices of this product as we get closer and closer to release are shocking. They are kind of exactly not what I expected. I expected either an absolute blowout of prices like we had seen from something wildly popular like Final Fantasy, or maybe a more collapsy side of things like we had seen for Marvel's Spider-Man. Instead, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles seems to be, well, it seems to be operating exactly like a Magic the Gathering set, which is weird to say for a Universes Beyond product that has shown us the swingy powers that be as far as price is concerned. Let's head over to TCG Player and take a look at what I'm talking about. Starting with the backbone of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and the backbone of every single set, and I don't know, in the comment section, do turtles have a backbone? Is the shell just their backbone? Is there some weird connective tissues? I don't know nearly enough about turtle anatomy, but I do know that this box is shockingly cheap for what I thought it was going to be. Now, let me explain. I know that $140 Magic the Gathering boxes are not, by any stretch of the imagination, cheap for regular play boxes. I also know that we're probably just not going to have $100 boxes anymore. It's not 2003 when I was at my game store every single weekend playing Magic the Gathering. No, we live in a world where the dollar doesn't go nearly as far and things are a bit more expensive. And without diving too far down that rabbit hole, it is kind of expected for Magic the Gathering boxes to cost more than $100, at least as far as, my rational brain thinks. That doesn't mean we have to like it, that doesn't mean we have to agree with it, but it makes sense to me. But what doesn't make sense to me is the Universes Beyond product like this being at a price that is so close to Lorwyn Eclipsed. For a little frame of reference, Lorwyn Eclipsed is a massively popular set that is, loved. The theme is beloved. The cards are highly playable. It is the most recent Magic the Gathering release, so there's a bit of a price hike there. But it is interesting to see that these boxes in way too early pre-order are extremely close in price. It's also important to see that the sell-through rate is not as high as I would have thought it is. Listen, I don't think turtles are the most popular thing in the world, but an average daily sold of 3 when shrinking down to the 1-month window, and a total sold in the 6-month window of, 547 is extremely low in my opinion. It does show what Universes Beyond can do when it touches something that is a little more niche. It doesn't turn on the Magic the Gathering fans that want the in-universe core cool Magic the Gathering, and it doesn't reach as wide of an audience as something like Lord of the Rings of Final Fantasy or even Avatar: The Last Airbender. There's also theming problems here with high fantasy and knights and realms equating almost directly to what is considered to the ground, to the core Magic the Gathering. But we're not going to get too far there because we have also seen that successful products like Fallout, a dystopian world with guns and ghouls, and while it's slightly magic adjacent, it is nowhere near the high fantasy we're used to, can sell extremely well. This product I expected to be a bit more popular, and it looks like we might get a cheap play booster box. That's right, we might get an in-universe cheap play booster box. Probably not as cheap as Spider-Man, but it's headed in that direction. And this, in a Universes Beyond set, is not the norm as far as the whole scope of Universes Beyond, but it does seem to be more of the norm recently. Yeah, Final Fantasy was nuts. Sure, it was one of the best sets of all time, as we heard from every Wizard of the Coast announcement, but Marvel's Spider-Man is a wildly cheap and unsuccessful Magic the Gathering box. And heck, even Avatar The Last Airbender is not the most expensive thing and didn't pop off the hardest, even with its popularity. So it is interesting to see this box. I did not anticipate it kind of riding the middle. I expected something a bit swingier, and I will say I'm surprised by this. I am not disappointed by this. I hope Magic remains affordable and doesn't skyrocket in price, but I am surprised. Another thing that is surprising me, and it's worth noting, is the collector booster box. Way too early collector booster box pre-orders have done one thing, or one of two things as of recent. They have been way too high, everybody over anticipated, and then they've crashed and people lose themselves in their shirts like they did in Spider-Man. Or it is something like Edge of Eternity, where the collector booster box is cheap, it goes sky high because we get a bunch of speculation and people love the product, and then it kind of comes back down to earth. It doesn't seem like we are experiencing much of that here. The box price has been relatively stable recently. Scrolling back into the past, we obviously see the 1 to 2 to 3 items sold in the 700s because some people are just willing to speculate on the next $1,000 box at $700, but the number of items here we sold, 1 item, 3 items, 1 item, 9 items at $500 isn't a realistic enough quantity for me to even think that that price point counts. But we see real volume start to come in the 400s and the high 300s, and because of that, we've kind of set a price on this box. The mid to high 300s seems to be where we're selling a good quantity, a whole bunch of items selling on various dates at various prices due to sales, large dumps, big people who probably aren't your local game store having access to product, putting it on the site, etc. For that reason, I am interested to see what the future of this box holds. Now, a good collector booster box product, and remember, mind you, I don't hate collector booster boxes. I hate when collector booster boxes come out and are completely unobtainable. They skyrocket to the moon, everyone speculates on them, and they are $1,000 on release day. That's absurd to me. I like there to be a window where collector booster boxes are, a normalized price. I don't want to say affordable because they are meant to be a high-end collector product, and you can believe in that vision or not, but it has worked. The product does sell, and Magic the Gathering collectability has all but improved for it. You couple that with the fact that cheap versions of cards have never been cheaper, and chase versions of cards have never been more sought after, and we've built an ecosystem around the draft set / play and collector booster box that, well, we didn't have in recent Magic the Gathering memory. Because of this ecosystem, we do have this collectible go-around, this collectible, I don't want to say nirvana because everything's not perfect, but a much better collectability time frame than we had in the past. For this reason, I don't expect sets like this, Universes Beyond sets, to behave rationally. Again, we will use the most recent example of Lore and Eclipsed. We see in the 6-month price chart here, same thing, some crazy speculation, and then overall a normalized price point with some sales and big high sell-through days, where we know what the community, around what the community is willing to pay for a box, between $420 and $369 nice dollars. For some reason, this set is behaving like a normal Magic the Gathering set, and of all the speculations I had in my brain, that was not one of them. Universes Beyond has never behaved normal, it's never played nice, but it does seem like it's becoming more and more part of the regular Magic the Gathering life cycle, and for that reason, we are getting more common trends in Universes Beyond releases. So, to be honest with you, that might be exciting, to be able to follow these along and have some anticipation of way too early pre-release is going to be priced high, and then as more product comes on the market, it's going to get cheaper, and then at release day, we're going to kind of level out, and singles and the good cards are going to, the cream will float to the top, and over time, scarcity will drive the prices up, and it becomes a normal market. It becomes a normal secondary market, a normal Magic the Gathering ecosystem where you can choose to play, or because we have a release every month and a half, you can choose to be on to the next thing, and that's a nice way to be able to interact with something a bit more stable that's not nearly as chaotic. Now, it's 2 more products worth touching on before we get too far and exit the video. The first product is the pizza bundle, and if you're here and you like the pizza bundle, you don't like the pizza bundle, whatever it is, I just like to say pizza bundle because it makes me smile, click the like button down below because I really put on a voice there. I did my best. I'm just kidding. This is a weird product. This is meant to be the complete bundle, the first place bundle. This is the specialized bundles that they've been using to replace gift bundles. This is supposed to be the high-end bundle with something exclusive in it. But what Wizards of the Coast hasn't seemed to grasp, in my opinion, is what made those specialized bundles that actually worked so good is the treatment, the art of the cards inside were so insane. We take a look no further than the complete bundle. Heck, in first place bundle even a little bit, but the specialized treatment in that didn't really hit. The yellow pea colored lands weren't for everybody, but the premium item in this being the 5 foil pizza lands, plus you can get some promos that are only available in their art in this box, which is very cool. But the known quantity of getting these lands, getting something to play with and put in your deck, and it not being the biggest hit in the world, does normally take a toll on these things on the secondary market. Now, I'm not saying that this is due to continue to slide down, but it does seem that it's following a pretty basic trend of, well, it really only gets popular the more farther down it goes in price. People are willing to, hey, I got some pizza lands, they're cool, I'll put them in my commander deck and my food deck because it's funny, but I'm not willing to spend an arm and a leg doing it. I think the pizza bundle is maybe the most uninteresting product because I think it's going to follow the trend of other specialty bundles, but it will be cool to follow along and see, hey, do we have an art style that's going to hit that I don't see coming? Because for me, this one's not it. And finally, this is the product that I'm most interested in. We're going to do an entire video on this, but the unique cards in this product are the most interesting. Remember, there's new to Magic unique cards in this commander deck that are only available essentially in this and the collector booster box. For that reason, I think there's a lot of juice with this box. I think there's a lot of juice with this commander deck outside of the commander deck playability, etc., but just being the only place you are guaranteed to get this list of like 42 or 43 cards, something definitely to watch. That is my analysis of the point we're at with Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Let me know what you think in the comments section below. Thank you so much for hanging out. Until next time, you all know me. My name is Josh, and we will see you around. All right, everyone. Goodbye.